For the part 2 of our lesson, let us discuss Hardy-Weinberg Principle. Balikan natin ang definition ng population genetics. Once again, population genetics is the field of biology that studies allele frequencies in populations and how they change over time. So, it is the branch of biology which focuses on inherited variations in populations of organisms. So, pinag-aaralan dito kung ano-ano ang mga nagaganap na pagbabago sa genetics ng isang population o sa pagitan ng ilang populations ng mga organisms. Ito ay nakafocus sa mga dahilan kung bakit nagkakaroon ng microevolution na siya namang dahilan ng pagkakaroon ng large-scale evolution. Ilan sa mga dahilan ng microevolution ay ang genetic drift, mutation, natural selection, random mating, at iba pa. Kilalanin natin si Charles Darwin. Si Charles Darwin ay isang English naturalist na pinakanakilala dahil sa kanyang theory of evolution by natural selection. Malaki ang naiambag ni Charles Darwin upang bigyang daan ang pag-aaral ng modern evolution. According to him, humans and animals daw came from common ancestry. Naging controversial siya, lalo dahil nung panahon nila, masyadong conservative pa ang knowledge ng mga tao at sa isang religious community na naniniwala na ang mga tao ay nilikha ng Diyos sa ganitong anyo, hindi ito naging katanggap-tanggap. Ang kanyang mga observations and theory ay nagsimula nang siya ay makapaglayag sakay ng HMS Beagle noong 1835, noong siya ay 22 years old pa lamang. So, during his exploration, nakapangalap siya ng maraming specimen ng iba't ibang animals na naging basihan niya sa kanyang mga notes at sa kanyang mga naipublish na books tulad ng On the Origin of Species na napublish niya 2 decades after his exploration on the Galapagos Islands. Now, let us look at this diagram. This diagram shows different finches found by Darwin on different locations in the Galapagos Islands. He classified these finches according to their habitat and the type of food they eat. Example, ang cactus finch, warbler at woodpecker finch ay mayroong tinatawag na probing beak na ginagamit nila upang makasiksik sa maliliit na spaces tulad ng pagitan ng mga tinik na meron sa katawan ng mga cactus, puno at iba pang mga halaman. Next category naman ay ang parrot-like beaks na kung saan isang uri lang ng finch ang nakasama dito at ito ay ang large cactus finch. Ang primary food source nito ay mga plants, leaves at soft seeds. Meron din tayong tinatawag na grasping and crushing beaks. Finches that have grasping beaks primarily feeds on insects at itong crushing beaks naman ay mostly sa mga seeds. Ano ba ang naging major observation ni Darwin? He noticed that the habitat where the finches he collected lives depend on the structure of their beaks and body shape. He believed that these types of finches came from a common ancestor but they evolved because of different factors like the differences in location and available food source. Based sa observation ni Darwin, nagkakaroon ng genetic variation or evolution sa mga organisms at ito ay inaipapasa from generation to generation. Evolution changes the allele frequency at each generation. Ulitin natin. Allele frequency refers to how common an allele is in a population. It is expressed as percentage or fraction na nagbabago because of the microevolution na nagaganap sa population ng organisms. Ang hindi lang nagawang ipaliwanag ni Darwin ay kung paano nagkakaroon ng genetic variation at kung paano naman ito na ipapasa from generation to generation. Dito naman papasok si Gregor Mendel na isang Austrian monk na ipinanganak noong 1822 sa Heinzendorf, Austria. Siya ay kilala bilang the father of genetics at sa kanya nagsimula ang idea ng particulate inheritance na ginamit niya upang ipaliwanag ang inheritance of traits. According to him, each parent daw is able to transfer one allele to offspring. Alleles are the alternative forms or version of genes at nakadepende sa dominance ng genes na naipasa kung ano ang lalabas na phenotype or actual na appearance ng offspring. Punta na tayo sa pinaka-actual na lesson para sa part na ito ng ating recorded lesson, ang Hardy-Weinberg Principle. Ang Hardy-Weinberg Principle ay ginagamit upang malaman kung may nagaganap bang evolution sa isang population. Nagmula ang tawag na ito sa pangalan ng physician at mathematician na sina Godfrey Hardy at Wilhelm Weinberg. Ang Hardy-Weinberg Principle ay nagpapakita ng equilibrium or balance ng allele frequency sa isang population, meaning walang evolution na nagaganap kahit sa ilang magkakasunod na generation ng isang population. Magbabago lamang ito kung magkakaroon ng tinatawag na evolutionary force na magkukos ng genetic variation at ito nga yung tinatawag na mechanisms of evolution. Magiging stable lamang ang allele and genotype frequency ng isang population kung makakamit daw ang mga sumusunod na conditions or assumptions. Number 1. No natural selection, or yung pag-adapt ng organism sa kanilang environment to better fit or survive. Number 2, no mutation, or walang genetic variation na magaganap sa population. Number 3, no migration, walang mag-i-immigrate at walang mag-i-emigrate na individuals na magkukos para magkaroon ng mixing of new genes in that population. Number 4, large population. It is because smaller populations daw are more prone to genetic drift and mutation. And lastly, no random mating. Isisingit ko lang dahil maraming beses itong mababanggit sa mga susunod na slides. I-define natin ang mga sumusunod na terminologies. Number 1, allele, or variant forms of a gene, or alternative versions ng isang gene na madalas nating ipakita as letters katulad ng example natin, big A for tall and small a for short. Next, genotype, the combination of alleles at a locus or gene. Ito ay kung ano ang magkakapares na alleles na nakuha ng offspring from its parents. Maaari itong maging homozygous or magkatulad na allele at heterozygous naman na kung saan magkapares ang dominant at recessive na allele. Next, phenotype. The expression of a trait as a result of the genotype and regulation of genes. Ito yung mismong traits or characteristics na na-express depende kung ano ang na-inherit na genes ng isang offspring. Number 4, allele frequency, or the fraction of all the gene copies in a population that a particular allele makes up. Example natin, nandito sa ibaba, pakitingnan na lamang. And lastly, genotype frequency, or the fraction of individuals in that population that have a particular genotype. Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium has two mathematical equations that we can use in our lesson. The first one is P plus Q equals 1, which is used in getting the allele frequencies, and the second one is P squared plus 2PQ plus Q squared equals 1, which is used in getting the genotype frequencies. In a diploid organism, P and Q represents the frequency of dominant allele and recessive allele respectively. P represents the frequency of allele big A, where big A is P squared. Q represents the frequency of allele small a, where small a is Q squared. 2PQ represents the frequency of 2 big A small a.